They told me they wanted me to do a fundamental list ranking the top 5 coaches in the SEC.
I'm not doing this.
Well, my first thought was,
Brady's list, not ours.
Be out of your mind, right? There's no way in the world I'm getting involved in this.
Oh, no.
People are going to lose their mind literally no matter what you say. And then I looked at the list and I realized it's actually not that complicated. It's not nearly as hard as you might have thought it was.
So now you're doubling down.
Well, I thought what I would
you
do.
might as well go. If he's going to go, just go.
Here's what I thought I would do, just to be fun. I thought maybe I wouldn't put Nick Saban first and just see how that went. And then I realized, well, that's ridiculous. So at number 5, we start with Dan Mullen, the aforementioned Dan Mullen, who goes from Mississippi State to Florida. And look, this is a guy who has a tremendous history coaching quarterbacks. He coached Alex Smith. He coached Tim Tebow. He coached Dak Prescott. He, at Mississippi State, at one time had them the #1 team in the country. I'm a big Dan Mullen fan. I contemplated putting him higher on this list, projecting what I think he's going to accomplish there.
Okay.
But I decided to do this based on what coaches have already accomplished.
Which is a good idea, in my opinion.
It also feels like the Saban touch. I think you just went ahead and threw him in at 5 because you knew it was less risky.
Yeah,
I see what you're doing.
He's the one non-Saban coaching tree candidate.
Safe choice.
So at number 4, then I go with Gus Malzahn. And that's the one, look, if you look at the stretch that they had last year at Auburn, he put together one of the great little mini runs you've ever seen and ran out of gas 1 game short. But he was very close to taking this team from a terrible start to the national championship, or to the semis anyway. And he went to the national championship game in 2013, lost in the SEC title game last year against a very good Georgia team. But this was basically in that little run where they had to play Bama and Georgia in a very short period of time. I'm a fan of Gus Malzahn.
I thought you would have had Jimbo Fisher there.
They wanted to had him all the way down at number 4?
Yeah.
Based upon the fact he's a national championship winning coach.
Okay.
Don't.
So we're basing this on the past.
You're slowing my roll here at this point.
You really are.
I had a little bit of a run going.
Go ahead.
At number 3.
Yes.
Kirby Smart.
Okay.
This is based on a couple of different things. One of them is he has one of the best recruiting classes ever coming into Georgia right now. He took that team to the national championship game a year ago. He was 1 play away from winning the national title and beating his mentor in Nick Saban. And they're going to get better. They're on the verge of getting better. They did it with a quarterback who was a kid. He's going to be there for a while. And he has a recruiting class that ranks with any recruiting class that has ever been put together coming in this year. So I think that Georgia, the arrow is pointing directly up. I have him at number 3.
Okay.
I was contemplating him actually at number 2 based on the very recent past, but you have to give that nod to Jimbo Fisher based on the fact that he won a national championship, right? I mean, how do I not put the guy up there?
No, I'm with you. I think Kirby Smart at 2. I don't think you'd have a real argument there, but carry on.
Well, so I got Jimbo there because he's got a 10-year, $75 million deal at Texas A&M.
Dang.
He was the guy coaching at Florida State who I think he made people forget sometimes that Florida State wasn't in the SEC, right? It sort of felt like they were part of the group. It was always all the top teams and him. And he has the tremendous history with bringing guys in. He was 27-1 over a 2-year stretch with Jameis Winston as his quarterback at Florida State. We'll see. He goes in there with extraordinarily high expectations, but I think you got to give him the benefit of the doubt based on the fact that he's won all those games, including a national title.
Okay.
And then,
Shocker.
so who's won? Well, number 1, I mean, obviously it's Nick Saban. To me, if you were to make a list of the greatest coaches in the history of the sport, I would put Nick Saban number 1.
Agreed.
But can you imagine how gutsy it would have been if you didn't?
Well, that's what I said.
It's kind of...
I was thinking about leaving him out entirely, just to see what the reaction would be.
Death threats to your house.
Like, let's just see what people say. I would have said, you know what? I contemplated putting Saban 4th or 5th.
Oh, God.
I think you should have. What are you going to say?
You should be fired.
He's the greatest coach ever. He is coaching in an era where it is harder to win national championships in college football than it has ever been before. Way harder than it was in the heyday of the man to whom he will be compared at Alabama and elsewhere at Bear Bryant. There's a total legitimacy to the championships that you win now, especially in the last couple of years based on the 4-team playoff. So this one went without saying. He is the greatest coach in the history of college football. Do we have any disagreement from the panel?
No, I think Kirby Smart, Jimbo Fisher could have been a good discussion there.